This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty. Welcome aboard. Yes, sir. It is time to have some fun on the show as we are out here at Toyota of Hollywood, where we love to be every Thursday. Out here with Steve Ostrov and Herbie and all the great people out here. Herbie Lopez right now is right there. He's at the desk right now. He's ready to make you a great deal on a Toyota vehicle. So come on out here. We got a great staff out here that will take care of you. Good afternoon. Hope you all are doing well. As always, appreciate you all out there for checking in with us on the show. And a ton of things to talk about today, of course. Let's see. What else do we have here on the show?
Let me just, before you go, you know what, man?
Yes.
The Christmas tree.
Yeah.
The palm tree behind you.
Yep.
You know what's missing? Back on the floor, okay, over to your left.
Okay.
Charlie Brown's Sorry Christmas Tree.
Oh.
That would be perfect. Right on the floor in the back.
Yeah.
Okay?
That would be good.
Yeah, man. I mean, it looks like the Corona commercial. Feliz Navidad with the palm tree in the back next to the Christmas tree.
Yeah, basically.
Very South Florida.
Yes. That is very true. As we are in December, and I guess they started to do their tree. They got more up top, but they haven't come down.
Oh, they took the ladder. They even got up one of those cherry picker man lifts.
Yeah.
Yeah, to do the tree. Yeah, man.
Yeah, they don't want anybody on a big ladder, just in case.
Yeah, it's, safer to be in a cherry picker, man.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well out there. Plenty to talk about. We're going to hear from Brian Flores in just a minute. We'll break down his comments, and we'll talk a little bit about his thoughts on Tua and everything else that he talked about. We had the game last night with the Steelers and the Ravens. Got some stuff to talk about there. Got Paul George acting like a little bitch. There's all kinds of stuff, man. That's the good thing that, when you've got all these sports going on, and I mean, basketball's already back. It's pretty amazing, right? I mean, it was like a week ago that we were watching the NBA Finals. It's really 7, but it just seems like it's a week ago where we were watching the NBA Finals, and we're already, with basketball, and I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this Heat season. So I want to get into a little Heat conversation. Let's see, what else do we have here? LeBron signing with the Lakers. I mean, there's a bunch of things that we can definitely talk about. A crazy trade in the NBA with Russell Westbrook and John Wall yesterday. Obviously, the YouTube text line is there for you all. If you want to send in a question, whether you're super chatting or chatting, it doesn't matter. You want to also send us a text on the text line, by the way, which is 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, many ways to reach out to us. Twitter's the other way, of course, at Big O Show. We thank all of you out there for supporting us here on the podcast, supporting us at Onside Radio, too, which is a beautiful thing. Thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun with what's going on Onside, and we continue to grow every single day, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. This Saturday, we'll have programming from 8 to 11 in the morning. And then next Saturday will be from 8 to 2 p.m. So that's pretty cool. And who knows, we might be able to add even more because I'm discussing with other folks that want to join the Onside Radio family. So we are doing our best to grow so that way you guys have a sports station you can tune into all the time, not the weak-ass crap that they've got out of Intercom. That one station's got 4 hours, the other one's got 3 shows left. I mean, it's a joke, really. That's Intercom's a freaking joke, and that's why we're going to kick their ass, and we're going to leave them, in our wake. We already are. I mean, Onside Radio already is better than anything you have at QAM or 790. combined. We have a better lineup. We have way more local talk than they do. We provide a lot more talk than they do. So, I mean, it's hell, we're now going to be on 7 days a week. That's something that they don't provide. So thank you all out there. Remember, you can download 2 different apps to listen to Onside Radio. One is the MyTuner Radio app. Look for it. MyTuner Radio is what it's called, okay? Because some people think I mean tune in, and I didn't say that. I said MyTuner Radio, okay? And then the other one is Radio FM. And Radio FM just recently added us also. We're going to have a couple of more apps, and they're all on the website on the right side. When you go in on the right side, you'll see that the 2 logos for the apps there. We'll end up adding a couple more to give folks a variety of apps that they can find us in and listen to us, which is extremely important. You can listen on the Listen Live button on the website, and that works all right, but it does cut out a little bit, so it's not perfect. The app is just a much better way to listen. Let me see what we got here on the roll call. Julius 305 is chiming in. Thank you, Julius. He was listening to us on Onside because I got one of his texts. Sid is in the house. Samuel Robina says, "What's up, Big O? Happy Thursday, and thank you for opening everyone's eyes about the Canes. They're not ready to play Clemson." I mean, it's just really misplaced anger. You know, these Canes fans that act like they're disgusted that they took a game away from Clemson and Notre Dame to make it easier for them to finish the season. They're just smart. You know, it's less chances to pick up COVID. They want to protect their ACC championship game. And as much as I love the Canes, they're not in Notre Dame and certainly Clemson's class. They're not better than them. They don't deserve to be in the ACC championship game. The ACC made its bed. They want to sleep with Notre Dame. They want to get suckered by Notre Dame. Go ahead and get suckered by Notre Dame. But Notre Dame is definitely the second best team in the conference now because you allowed them in. So, you know, and listen, the other thing is, what I laugh is the same Canes fans that are complaining are the same Canes fans that are going to rip the hell out of the team when they get dogged by Clemson again. So I'm not interested in seeing a 30-point loss to Clemson again. I don't need to be reminded how far Miami is from being Clemson and Alabama. So I don't need them to play again. They have no chance at winning. Okay? Just like the teams that were left on the schedule for Notre Dame and Clemson, they're not beating them. Ian from Brooklyn is in the house. Omar Lopez. Carlos Sainz says, go Dolphins, Big O. I like what Flores is doing and what he's done so far with the Fins. Future is looking bright to all Dolphins. All the best. Thank you, Carlos. I'm with you, man. Future is extremely bright, finally, for our Dolphins. Willie says, bro, taking my siesta after pounding the spaghetti and empanadas. Fins up. There you go. Enjoy that siesta. Let's see. Henrik Arthur says, NBA first-round picks are so valuable these days. Why is that? Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero. There you go. You know why, Henrik? Things have changed, my brother. Kids are only in school for a year, the upper echelon ones, and then they're going to the NBA draft. You don't get to really analyze a player anymore. See, Henrik is probably an older person like I am. We got to see players for 3 and 4 years. So you knew who they were pretty much. Now they're watching a kid for 1 year and then leave, and you have no idea what he's made of. So you've got to do a great job of scouting the player and almost guessing which guy is going to be able to make a transition to this league at this level. And so far, the Miami Heat got 2 guys that were just outside of the lottery pretty much, in Tyler and Bam, and they hit on him. And now we'll find out. They picked, what was the number? It was the number 20 where they got Precious?
Yes.
Now we're going to find out if they can hit on number 20 also. And Duncan Robinson, street free agent. Kendrick Nunn, street free agent. So you hit on those guys. Maybe not Kendrick as much, but definitely, Duncan. Kendrick's got to fix that shot. But in today's world, it's a lot harder to scout NBA players. So the first-round picks now become a little bit more valuable because teams are figuring out that, hey, man, this is a smart way to go. Get the guy young, develop him, and you get him cheap early on. And you can kind of control him, kind of what they do in baseball, what they do in football. And in basketball, that love affair of using veterans, that's good if you're a championship caliber team that you're right there on the cusp. You want to go get a veteran. But Henrik, nowadays, if you're looking to build, you got to try to build through youth, and you got to figure out who's the good players and who's not. And Miami so far seems to be doing that. So I think that's why first-round picks have become a little bit more valuable now, because better players are slipping down in the draft because it's just harder to scout them now. You don't really know who's going to be what.
One of the first one-and-done guys, big name, blah, was Carmelo, right? He won the Syracuse championship, and bada bing, see you later. Thank you. Did mine.
Right. Nathan says, I've been looking for you for years. A friend of mine told me that you're on YouTube. I just subscribed to their channel. You always keep it real about sports, Big O. Well, thank you, Nathan. And make sure you also follow us at onsideradio.com, at Onside Radio on Twitter. Download the app because we're on there every day at 11 a.m. from 11 to 1. And so is Manny Navarro, and so is Ethan Skolnick, and so is Alex Dono. Okay, we got Toast in the morning. He's doing a great job. He and Marsh from 6 to 8 in the morning. The Morning Juice with Lemon City Live. We got the best lineup in radio locally here. So make sure you download onsideradio.com, man. So I appreciate it, Nathan. Thank you very much. Let's see. Bro, yep, Onside makes me feel like I'm back in Hialeah or Miami. Love it. Let's see what else. Antonio says, what's up? Mystery Dad 73 says, thumbs up or thumbs down. Tua plays on Sunday this week. Howdy, everyone. Orlando, Bill, looks like the tree behind you needs some decorations. Está un poco pelada. Yeah, they're in the process. They started up top. They've got way more decorations up top.
Hey, whatever Ray said, I concur.
Yeah, it's a giant ass tree, dude. It takes hours to do this one. So they probably first built the tree and then did what they could, and then now they're going to do the rest probably in the next day or two.
Obviously, last night they did the Rockefeller Center tree.
Right.
This is a miniaturized version. Yeah. It's a good two-story. You know, I'd say that's a 20-footer. Yeah,
it's a 20-foot tree.
It's definitely a 2.5 story.
No, it's definitely a 20-foot tree. That's a big-ass tree that's out there, man. So give it by next week when we come back.
Not even. The decoration guy said
I'm sure that
they're going to have it ready tomorrow.
Well, we're not here tomorrow, so I'm saying next Thursday, I'm sure it'll be nice and pretty and all lit up and all that good stuff. But for now, you know, it is what it is. What are you going to do? Oh,
dude,
John Rouse is in the house. There we go. Rousey is in the house. He's in. There you go. So Rouse is in, mask and all. Love it.
He says that he's going to make us a heater now because it's going to get to wintertime.
Yeah.
You know, to replace the air conditioner. He's going to go heater.
Yeah, we don't have to go. We don't have to do that, huh? The heater instead. And our cold spell is done now, right? It's like a couple days. That's it. Today was over, and you know we'll have like one more day of a couple of cold days, and then that's it. That'll be our winter. Like we had half of our winter the last 2 days. And someday in like February, we'll have like 2 cold days, and then that's it. That'll be our winter, and we got like 4 days of cold, and it's over. Too funny, man. Too funny. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. Thank you, sir. Thank you all out there. No, he did not show up with the brownies. No brownies today. No. We were hoping for the spiked brownies, but he didn't bring them. Ray also says, great lineup for local sports. Thank you, sir. Thank you out there. Yes, we have the best lineup for local sports. No doubt. And it's growing. It's growing every day. I'm telling you, my phone doesn't stop ringing from people in the business that wanna join what we're doing because they see all the corporate crap that's gone on and how it's headed downhill, and so we're getting calls from people that are out of work, people that are kind of working still in the business, all of that interested in joining us at Onside Radio. So I'm really happy for that. We are looking for a couple of really good salespeople too. So just in case, if you know anybody out there that's got some experience in radio sales, have them reach out to me on social media. Maybe we can talk. Rosendo says, "Good afternoon, Big O and Bill and chat room. There is nothing better but listening to you guys speak sports, music, and everything in general. You are like Laurel and Hardy or Abbott and Costello." Damn, I don't know about that. I don't know if I want that comparison. Such goofballs. So I guess Rosendo thinks I'm a big old goofball. My wife does too, so what the hell? Maybe Rosendo's right. Who knows? All right, so Flo addressed the media today. Let's get into Flo here as Flo addressed the media and talked about several things, including Mr. Tua. Let's get into it. Go ahead, Bill.
Good morning, Flo. I've been meaning to compliment you on your beard since last week, man. I wanted to ask you about Eric Rowe and Nick Needham and the roles they play in your defense and the progress that they've made over the last 2 seasons. How valuable have those guys been to your defense this season?
I think both guys have played well. I think their communication's gotten better. I think they're tackling well. I think they're both giving us competitive coverage. So, I think they're both playing well, and hopefully that continues. Again, it's a week-to-week league, so how they prepare this week, we'll say a lot about how they play. I think they prepared each week, or they've attacked each week in the correct manner, and that showed up on game day. Hopefully that continues.
Omar?
After I want to get an update on Tua. You watched him practice yesterday. What would be your assessment? Do you still see the thumb as an issue that could impact his performance?
He was limited at practice. I'm sure you guys saw that on the injury report. And we'll just, we'll take it one day at a time. Both quarterbacks practiced yesterday. We'll just take it one day at a time and see how he progresses throughout the week and make a decision come Sunday.
You could tell that he doesn't want to give you any information whatsoever. Omar asked the question you got to ask. He was hoping that the coach would elaborate on, how Tua looked in practice. But here's the thing. Why are you going to give the Bengals anything? Right? Force them to watch film on Tua. Force them to watch film on Fitz. Right? It's going to be tough enough for them to come in here and win the game anyways. No matter who the quarterback is, Miami should wallop the Bengals. I mean, I love the spread for Miami, 11.5 points. I'll give it. Okay? Really interesting stat. Did you know that Miami has won 5 games this year by 11 or more points? Okay? I don't know if anybody knew that, but 5 games, 5 wins this year, 11 or more points. Okay? So I'm laying the 11.5 in this game. I think they win easily by 2 touchdowns in this game. I think they will force Ryan Finley into mistakes. I think the defense will cash in, and I think Fitz cruises in this game. I don't think Tua's going to play. I really don't. If he's limited in practice all week, why? Okay, he didn't play last week. He's going to be limited, and then you're going to play him? That doesn't make any sense, ladies and gentlemen. It's a rookie. So what do you want to do with a rookie? You want to give him real reps throughout the practice all week to get him prepared for a regular season game. He's not a 10-year veteran that doesn't need to practice most of the week, and he can hang out and still do the job. Yeah. 5-10 years from now, We can do that with Tua. That he's banged up a little. He doesn't practice much, but he plays. Yeah, he can do that. But with a rookie, do you think Flo is going to let a rookie be limited all week and then play him? Come on, man. Let's use common sense here. I've been doing this for a long, long time. Okay, and I can tell you that there's a good chance he doesn't play at all here. And I'm pretty good at reading this team and what's going to happen. You guys know it that listen to this podcast every day. You know what I'm talking about because I've done it many times here for you guys. And I can already tell you he's not playing. There's no way you do that with a rookie coming off an injury. He's also going to be limited, and you're going to line him up against an NFL team? No shot. Forget about it. This is all fits. All right, Bill, go ahead with Flo. I don't hear anything.
Good morning, Brian. I had a question about sports science, actually. Have you guys looked into and found kind of a game plan when it comes to managing your rookies through a season where they didn't have an off season, where they didn't have training camp? I know that the rookie wall is something that coaches talk about. I don't know how much credence you give to that, but certainly these are very unique circumstances for a bunch of guys whose college season would be wrapping up pretty soon.
I don't know. We have a sports science, group, and I think, Dave Paloka, our strength conditioning, head strength conditioning coach, and Adam LaChance, those guys do a great job from that standpoint as far as, yardage and numbers and things of that nature. So I can't really speak to it. I have a pretty good understanding, but I wouldn't speak to the exact numbers of what a player in this position, what's the exact yardage he should or shouldn't have right now. I would say more than anything, because this is a little bit unprecedented. I think that's kind of the time we're in. There was no OTA. There was no a different training camp. It's been a different year completely. And that may be changing even more so. Yes, it's something we take into consideration, something we talk about. But our message to the young players, rookies, guys who haven't been through NFL season is, take care of your bodies, make sure you're hydrating, make sure you're eating right, make sure you're getting your sleep, make sure you're fueling yourself so you have enough energy to make it through the day. And I think communication is a big part of that. And we talk to them about, telling us when they're, sore, fatigued, or things of that nature. And we just try to work through it on a day-to-day basis. I don't know if the numbers, if we use numbers, maybe you tell me if we had the numbers, what would we be basing that off of? Because it's a totally different year. Maybe you could help me with that. I don't know. I don't know. If it was a normal year, then maybe those numbers would I don't want to say mean something, but maybe they would give us more of an accurate way to proceed. But in a year when everything's a little bit different, I'm not sure where everyone's in uncharted territory.
Ruthie?
Hey, Flo. First of all, really like the hat. Big fan. I also wanted to get your take on the Bengals special teams unit. It seems like that was kind of the phase that kept them in the game last week. Just kind of what you've seen from that.
Yeah, this is one of the best special teams units in the league. Darren Simmons is, one of the best coaches, kicking game coaches in the league. You see it year in, year out. And like you said, that phase kept them in the game last week. I think they've got some, Brandon Wilson's a kind of an underrated player. But this guy's a very good returner. Huber's a really good punter. Like Bullock, they've got good specialists. They've got good players on those units. They play fast. Schematically, they do a good job. They're not afraid to run some fakes, which they got one off last week. this is going to be a challenge, and I think, for our special teams unit, and we've got to play well in that phase. They've shown that they can keep themselves in the game strictly off of special teams. So, and we've got to do a good job.
Yeah.
Good morning, Flo. You mentioned, I guess, a few minutes ago that nobody's 100% at this point. I guess with Tua and the thumb, at some point you're going to have a decision with maybe 80 or 90%, 70%, wherever he is, Tua versus a maybe healthier Fitz. What goes into a decision when you're trying to see if someone's healthy enough to play compared to, someone else who may be healthier? If that makes sense.
I think there's a lot that goes into that decision. What's best for the player, what's best for the team, what we need to do, what we need to be able to do to try to, win a ball game. I think all those things, I think that's at the top of the priority list when you're thinking about who can play and who can't, really at any position. But, like I said earlier, I mean, I would say every player in this league that's played a significant amount of snaps is dealing with something. And you try to work through it. And that's what Tua's doing. That's what a lot of guys on our team are doing. And we'll see how it goes, over the course of the week. It's Thursday. And I know you guys want to know right now if he's playing, if he's not playing, But we still got 2 days of practice here. And like always, we're going to make the best decision for the team.
Final question, Omar.
Wanted to get an update on the running backs. DeAndre missed practice yesterday with a hamstring injury. You've got 2 guys coming back, Gaskins and Ahmed, with their injuries. Where you are from a depth standpoint and availability standpoint based on what you saw yesterday?
Well, just, I made this mistake also. It's Ahmed. Yeah. So, no, don't worry. I made the same mistake. He doesn't correct people like he should, which I told him he needs to do that. It was good to get Ahmed back. Obviously, Gaskin was back yesterday, or last week, I should say. D-Wash. We had to hold him out. But, look, we feel good about our backs. Breida, Laird, Miles, Ahmed. I think we got enough guys that we can line up and play. I think everyone's dealing with injuries, COVID, things of that nature. I mean, we watched the game yesterday with a number of guys out, for different reasons, some injuries, some COVID. So, look, we just gotta do the best with what we've got. And guys are trying to come back and practice, and guys who are banged up, they're doing everything they can to get back as quickly as possible and get into the game. Like I said, everyone's a little bit banged up this time of year. It's not just one position. It's you guys are mentioning it's running back. It's a little bit on the O-line. Other teams are dealing with it. And, we're no different. So I think we just gotta fight through the little bit of adversity, and then next guy's got to step up and play. It's a team game. It's 53 guys on the roster, and somebody for whatever reason can't be out there. Next guy's got to be able to step up and play. And I think they're ready to do that. And that's what I like about this team. They pull for each other, they support one another. And if someone's got to, for whatever reason, whether it's injury or COVID or whatever the case may be, the next guy's ready to step up.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, real quick, guys, I just want to say happy birthday to Joe Cimino. He's our head equipment guy. He does a great job for us. And, I would say he's tops in the league. So very appreciative of him and his staff. And just wanted to give him a little quick shout out.
He's just a cool dude, isn't he? The thing about Flores,
he messes with Omar and very real.
He's like a human being. You know what I mean? Like sometimes some of these coaches, they're robots. And
Belichick is, you know.
they're just robots. They have no feelings. They don't react to things like normal human beings do. You know, they don't even relate to you like a human being sometimes. It's really weird how it is with some coaches.
They don't even have a pulse, man.
Yeah, and Flo just seems like just a normal guy. You know what I mean? Blue collar, hard worker, realistic. You know, keeps his both feet on the ground. It's not a guy that got a head coaching job and all of a sudden became, Mr. Jerk in the room because, hey, I'm the boss and all that stuff. Flo is just, it just seems like he's cut from a different cloth. And you end up, at least for me personally, I got to say, the more I see of the guy, the more I like the guy. I really do. The more he grows on me as a head coach of this team and as a guy that will be able to relate to his players. And I think that's why Flo never lost his team last year at 0-7. Where most teams, most coaches, you start off in those first two games. Remember, was it like 102-10 or 6 or something stupid? You get routed by 1,000 points in the first two games, and then you go to 0-3 and you go to 0-4, and you end up at 0-7. By that time, 95% of the time, the team has tuned you out already. I mean, they're making vacation plans in the second half of the season, just counting the days down to the last day so they can get on a plane a couple days later with the family or by themselves or whatever and get the hell out. And yet Flo never lost his players. In fact, they got better even through the losses, as we pointed out last year. And then they got to the point where they weren't just showing better football skills, they were now closing out games. And they were finishing games and they were learning how to win. And now you see it, they're 7-4. They're 7-4 in the first 11. They should be 8-4 by Sunday. And look at it, how everything works out. And some people may think, early on with the 0-7, the firing of the offensive coordinator at the end of the year, the firing of the offensive line coach early on, some people may have been questioning all of this and going, who is this guy? Another bad apple that falls from the Belichick tree. And actually, this may be the only good apple that falls from the Belichick tree. But all these little examples is the reason why you end up liking Flo. It's not just the winning. You can tell that he's going to continue to win because he knows how to communicate with people. And it's not just the players. It's his coaches. It's the fans. It's the media. You see the relationship with the media. It's not an adversarial relationship. It's not something that he's constantly fighting with people or anything like that. Whether Omar asks him a tough or odd question or whether Salguero's asking him a tough or odd question. Doesn't matter who's in that locker. Beasley asking him a tough or odd question, whatever. The guy seems to handle all of this the right way, never loses his cool, always respectful, even if he disagrees, which a lot of coaches could be very dismissive, and he's not that way. So just kudos to Flo and the way he handles himself, and it's just a likable thing, man.
No velvet ropes with an automatic door opening and closing like Sapin.
No, not at all.
And there's no problem asking about Thanksgiving Day sides like Gruden, right?
Right. Yep. No problem at all. Oh, you're young. You're about 15 and can't go around a car. All right, anyway. 786-322.
Lazy is the new way of the world, brother.
Tell me about it. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in. You might want to put it in the end cap, and that way it's completely out of the way. That way, what are you doing, bro? No, don't do that. Don't do that. People will just make it worse. Put it in the end cap, and then that way it'll get out of the way and people can walk by, because that's what they're going to end up doing it, So if we make it tighter, they may end up, no, dude, get it out of the way, out of the way. Yeah, no, yeah, they need to walk by. They need to have a walkway. They didn't want him? Oh, really? Okay, well then, if they don't want him walking by, then move the whole damn thing. Well, they're going to move the chair. That's the thing. We got a chair in the corner, and then there's a Supra. So we don't want the Supra getting scratched or anything like that. So they kind of want this blocked off. So anyway, maybe we should do is like put something there that they know they can't cross. They've got to go around. You know, that kind of stuff. Because they see a chair, they're going to move a chair. You know? Do you think that Chan Gailey will remain as the OC next year? I personally don't. Why wouldn't he, Miami Kid Jay? Explain to me why you're asking me a question that makes no sense. That's really what I want to know, Miami Kid Jay. Okay? Explain to me why you're asking me a question that doesn't make sense at all. I've already talked about this. Okay? People picking on Tua, people picking on Chan Gailey, people picking on the offense. You don't get it. It's an offense with 3 rookies on it. It's an offense with a journeyman quarterback and a rookie. It's an offense with no number 1 running back. It's an offense with no number 1 wide receiver because Parker's injured and Preston Williams is out. What offense are you expecting? I'd like to know. Really, Miami Kid J, please explain to me. Please explain. Because it's kind of dumb to ask where you're blaming it on Chan Gailey? I want to know. I want to know where's that question coming from. You know, I mean, if you're going to ask, be careful, because I'm going to call you out. It's asinine to not want Chan Gailey here. Okay? It's asinine, is what it is. That part I just don't get, man. Like, some people think that Chan Gailey's supposed to make the quarterback position Pat Mahomes when you don't have it. You're supposed to, what is this supposed to be Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce at wide receiver? I'm sorry, do we have Walter Payton or Marshall Faulk running the ball, or Ezekiel Elliott? I must have missed where this offense is elite in anywhere. Anywhere. Gesicki is the closest thing, and it's not elite because Kelsey is elite. Okay? That's elite. Kelsey's not, Gesicki's not Kelsey. Maybe he could be down the line, but he ain't that right now. You know the guy that plays in San Fran? That's elite. George Kittle? That's elite. Nothing about Miami is elite. So I don't know what people like Miami Kid J actually are expecting from this offense.
Bro, it's like you said. You got 3 rookie offensive linemen. 1, your running backs have been in flux all year. And the minute that somebody stucks up, like the kid Ahmed, he gets hurt. You know what I mean? And our receivers have all been hurt. Come on, man.
And the running backs like Gaskin and Ahmed step up, but they step up and they become serviceable. They don't step up and become dominant or elite or anything like that. It's not freaking Ricky Williams back there, dude.
Oh, no.
Okay? It's not Lamar Smith back there either, by the way.
Yeah, he would be the second one behind Ricky, right?
You know, it's just like, to me, it's just the most ridiculous thing, you know, to be picking on the offense. Like, I thought Salguero's article on yesterday, yeah, he made all the obvious points, but there's a reason why that offense is not good, because there's no reason they should be good. They spent all the money on defense. They didn't spend it on offense. Like I keep telling everybody, watch this offseason, okay? I bet you this offseason will be an offensive offseason. I bet you they'll be drafting a running back. I bet you they'll draft a receiver. I can guarantee you all of that. They may draft another lineman. Come on, man. Our Finns are soon to be 8-4, and what we have, we expect more from the offense. Gee whiz. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It really is.
You know what? It doesn't matter. Like you said, there's just that group that's going to bitch.
Yeah,
that's what they're going to do.
And then Miami Kid Jay follows it up with, I think Gailey is fine OC. I just don't see it long term. Well, he's like 70. Of course it's not long term. Really? Oh, you figured that all out by yourself? He's only here to establish, I think I said this when they signed him, that it's kind of to establish the offensive culture for a couple of years, and then they'll find, it might be the guy that's the QB coach. I forgot his name now, but that's the guy that he could be grooming to take over for him in a couple of years.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We were talking about, because Gailey can run so many different offenses, we hoped we had a young coach that he could pass the baton to.
That's what's going on. I just find it just unacceptable and crazy and just nutty to think that Gailey's ever a problem right now.
We had a segment last week, man. We're victims of our own success. You get a little taste of happiness, and they want, the full spread. Bottom line.
Like I said,
step by step, man.
There is no reason for any of us to complain about the Dolphins right now. None. Because none of us thought they were going to be 7-4. And after this weekend, they'll be 8-4. None of us expected that. Just be super happy with it, man. And let's let everything develop. It's already developed faster. Look, the good thing is a lot of you have been with us on this podcast since we started a year ago, year and 4 months, whatever it was. And most of you were terrified of this whole tear down and turnaround, right? I was maybe one of the few nutbags in the world that was super excited about this, okay? And why? Because I knew that we were going to build this thing back up the right way, but we thought, and I said it here, it's going to take 3-4 years, okay? Well, so far I'm wrong. Dude's turned it around in the second season already. It's pretty amazing. I mean, I don't think people are even going to give Brian Flores and Chris Greer the kind of credit they deserve if they do make the playoffs in their second year after they tore this thing down to the bone. I don't know how many coaches and general managers could actually tear it all the way down and then all of a sudden their second year be a playoff contender. That's they just fired the slob in Detroit, Matt Patricia, the guy that walks around with a bird's nest on his face. They just fired him and Quinn, the general manager, and those guys were there for 3 years already, and they did nothing. Nothing. In fact, Miami is showing more this year than they did in Detroit all 3 years of Matt Patricia's reign there. I don't even think Miami Kid Jay, he doesn't really appreciate what the Dolphins are doing. Because if you're nitpicking about anything right now with the Dolphins, then you don't really understand what's going on. Because what's going on right now is something great. Yeah, I don't mean great like in a championship. I mean great as in the culture, turning around everything that's going, the image of the Dolphins, the image on behalf of players and agents all over the league, all that perception that's out there of the Dolphins, that they've been a mess, that's going out. It's like Cleveland. Both Miami and Cleveland are washing away their past. And they're like, okay, these are new teams. Detroit, same old bunch. Right? That's where I think people like Miami Kid Jay, you need to change your attitude, man. You got to look at this for what it really is, an amazing freaking turnaround. This is one of the best things I've ever seen in my life here in South Florida. Outside of Riley, because Riley did it but again, basketball only takes a couple players. But he got here right away, made the Hardaway in the morning moves, and the rest is history with Riley. Basketball's a little different. but it kind of reminds me of that. This is equal to what Riley did right away, because obviously it's 53 guys in football, a lot more. It takes more to make an impact. And yet somehow or another in the second year, they kind of solved a lot of issues. They're young, but they've solved a lot of issues. I'm sorry, man. I just think that what's going on with the Dolphins is just an absolutely amazing story.
Robbie Brown is our QB coach, sir.
Okay, there you go. Could be him. He could be the guy that they could be grooming.
You know who did
But
a
of
pretty
course,
good...
look up Chan Gailey's age. I want to say it's like early 70s, right?
You know who did a pretty decent job? Remember the week that they were out and he was out? The tight ends coach that stood in as the quarterback's coach. That was the Arizona game. And you could see him on the sideline with Tua. You know what I mean? That was a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Got to give some props to that coach.
Yep. Chan Gailey is 68 years old. So, yeah.
68 years young is what you would say.
That was the reason why people would think that you don't have a chance. You know, oh, my God, he's too old. Yeah, it's not old. No. In fact, I'm opposite of that, John. I want my coaches old. I want them to have a ton of experience. I want them to have been through hell and back, and they've seen everything. It's like when you're a teenager, right? And your dad and your mom pulls you aside, and they give you this advice, and you just throw it away. You just like, you're just old. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. And sure enough, everything they told you was going to happen happened. You got screwed, this and that. And all you do is remember your dad and your mom telling you about it. And why? Because they got 40 years of experience of life on your ass. So if they tell you this is going to happen, you probably should listen. You know, and so that's what I like about Chan Gailey. Chan Gailey's coached all kinds of offenses, college, the NFL, all kinds of quarterbacks. Guys had all kinds of success. He has never been a great head coach. I'll give you that. But how many people are like that in this league? There's lots of people that are exceptional coordinators, exceptional position coaches, but they can't be head coaches. It's just the way it is. Not everybody's meant to be a head coach. So he hasn't gone ever to go out and have great success as a head coach. But as a coordinator, he's always been a solid coordinator, a very good coordinator, and has helped a lot of offenses. And the last time he was here, I was the beat guy. And I saw it firsthand. And I talked about it constantly, that considering everything that was going on, the lack of talent that he had, he did a really good job. Nobody's ever handed him a Mahomes and a Kelsey and a Tyreek Hill. And he's never coached that kind of an offense because he's never had that. But usually wherever he's been, they've always been productive. Always. So
few most offensive coordinators are one-trick ponies. They do one thing,
right,
and that's it. This guy is multifaceted. Whatever you have, he's going to get the most out of because he can change up.
Yep. I'm with you there. We're entertaining that dangerous area of being good, just not good enough. This is where we wanted to be when we started. 2 years of rebuild. The next 2 years should be great. Exactly. You know, come on, people, relax. I haven't felt this good since the Shula days. Who knows this offense more than Fitz? Fitz magic for offensive coordinator when Gailey leaves. You know, I get the feeling that he's a guy that wants to play, not really coach. I think when Fitz is done, he goes to the family. That's kind of the feeling I get from Fitz. That Fitz loves to do this, and this is about the only thing that will keep him away from his family. But the second he can't play anymore, I think he takes all the boatload of money that he's made and he goes off and hangs out with his wife and his kids, and I think he'll be happy as hell being a father. So just something tells me that that's not the case with Fitz. I just don't get that feeling. You know, George says what the Dolphins have done in a year and a half is incredible. Of course. In 3 years, this division could be a murderer's row, a division if the Jets get their act together. The Jets have a terrible owner. Maybe they probably won't. Let's see what else. Miami Kid J says, I do appreciate it, love it. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. That's the beauty of this. We can agree to disagree, that's all. And we definitely disagree on this one, Miami Kid J. Love you, brother, but no way. I ain't picking on Chan Gailey. and I'm loving everything that's going on here. Until I see something that doesn't fly, that's incompetent, and then I'm with you. But right now, I love what's going on. Just like your airline pilots, the best flights are with the older pilots. There you go. Yeah. I don't have a problem with the age. Some people did that when he got hired. Oh, no, he's been out of football for 3 years. So what does that mean? He's supposed to forget football? Like, what, the game changed? No, the game, it's still the same game. Now, styles are changing. Okay, he's already coached these kind of styles. So what's the big deal? You gotta spread it out more. You gotta pass more. Well, he's done that already. He's had the run-oriented offenses. He had the pass-oriented offenses. He's had the mobile quarterbacks. He's had the pocket passers. The guy's coached it all. He's coached at college level. He's coached at the high school, at the NFL level. Hell, he coached at Georgia Tech. They're all about running. You know what I'm saying? So I would just I would pump the brakes on that. All right, let's take a quick break here. We'll come back in 2 minutes. Let me go to the little boys' room, and we'll continue our discussion. I still got to get into some Heat talk. I do have a couple things on the Dolphins also that I want to talk about. Some interesting basketball news also going on. I got a couple of music notes, too, that we'll get to. Let's take a quick break. Back with more right here from Toyota of Hollywood and the Big O Show. Big O for all of your CBD, THC, or hookah needs. You got to get on down to VSS West Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. Yes, they have got legal THC. You've got to check it out. And they've got, of course, when it comes to CBD, flower, tinctures, edibles, for all kinds of reasons, whether it's pain, stress, anxiety, you name it. And don't forget, when you mention my name, you'll get 20% off. Tell the boys out there that I told you to get on down to VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road, and call them 954-613-3367. Legal THC, CBD, all of your hookah needs. You go to VSS West Pines.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction. Listen, I've been telling you about Eric for a long time now. Custom home builder for additions, home remodeling. We're not talking about a handyman. Maybe you want to redo that man cave. We're not going to a lot of live sporting events. So you want to improve that experience in your man cave? Call them 305-433-4843. Tell them that Big O sent you, and go to the Instagram page. You can see the before and after there. You'll be impressed. EJD_construction. Call them 305-433-4843 or go to the website ejdconstruction.com.
America's premium sports sedan is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. TLX $259 a month, $259 at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
All righty, we back. John was just asking me. You got a good memory, John, by the way, because maybe some people will forget that I started wearing this hat. I wear it every other day for 24 minutes. I told you guys that I was doing because my hair was getting thinner here, so I wanted to, and I already feel like when I'm combing my hair, it feels thicker now, which is crazy. And I'm at the 2.5 month mark, and I just showed them my cranium there. I was developing
a little before and after thing going on there, bro.
Yeah, I was developing the human yarmulke, and so I wanted to get the hat so I could try to see if I can minimize the loss of the hair and maybe get back and hide the human yarmulke. It's not completely a yarmulke yet, but I just showed these guys.
You need a donation, buddy?
I just showed these guys the before and after, and you guys saw a little bit of a difference, right?
No doubt, bro.
Yeah. So
and I'd like to keep my friend looking like I've known he's looked all his life, man.
Yeah.
So
Put
that hat on, brother.
I actually cut my hair yesterday for the first. I've never done that in my life, but I didn't really cut much because my bangs were down here. Okay. So, I had my hair wet, and I just cut them right across the forehead, and then I went down like that diagonally, and that's it.
You didn't give yourself a mo cut, did you?
No. I just cut enough to get it out of my face.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You didn't use a Flowbee?
No,
Remember that? Hook it up to your vacuum cleaner. And
when I comb my hair, it doesn't look bad. Like, people can't tell that but, these are the COVID extremes that you go to now.
Oh, when you got done cutting your hair, did you tip yourself?
Yeah, I did.
I mean,
I tipped myself by cleaning up hair and flushing it down the toilet. I swear, I cut the bangs right up to here, but they were all the way down here, man. It was weird. It was crazy stuff, but that's what you got to go through. So I'll show you guys. I'm going to wait till I get to the 6-month mark, and then I already have the before picture. I showed it to these guys, and I'll put the before and after picture, but I'm going to wait for 6 months because I can already tell that it's actually working. So just in case some of you out there that may struggle with, the follicles, you may want to try it, okay? It works for me, or at least for right now. It looks like it's working. Let's see, what else do we have here? Do you think it hurts Tua to miss the Bengals game and go up against a good Chiefs team? No, I don't think so. Miami Miracle, he had to go on against the Rams, you know what I mean? And that Rams front seven is pretty bad, and they've got the baddest dude on the planet in Aaron Donald. And he struggled a little bit, but listen, we just need him healthy, and we need him to play as much as he can. And in that Kansas City game, maybe he gets a little bit more opportunities to fling the ball around, you know what I mean? Or sling the ball around, I'm sorry, I said fling. Sling the ball around. So that, that might be the issue there. Armed Ape says, off subject, but what the hell is to be made of the NFC East, worst division ever? Oh. Okay, Dallas incompetent, Washington incompetent, Philadelphia incompetent, right? The Giants incompetent. That's what you're going to make of that division. That's the NFC East. Gettleman doesn't know what the hell he's doing with the Giants. The Eagles, obviously, their marriage with Wentz now has gone awry because the kid lost his mojo. He's got no juice anymore. He doesn't have that confidence. The Washington Redskins, as long as you're owned by Dan Snyder, it's going to be really hard to win with a guy like that. You know what I mean? And then, who else am I missing? Oh, and the Cowboys. Give me a break. Jerry Jones, the other guy that's just like that. The Snyders, the Jerry Jones of the world, the Mike Browns. These are people that it's really hard for you to put together something that really is respectable while you have those gentlemen owning that team. And I use gentlemen very loosely with those guys. So the only thing you can make of the NFC East is incompetence. That's really the answer to all. It's not bad breaks. It's not that they, they're ravaged with injuries or anything. No, dude. They're just incompetent. They're just bad organizations through and through. And I feel bad for Ron Rivera because he's stuck with that owner and he had to take that job. But he deserves better than Dan Snyder. It's going to be, it's a mission to win with bad owners, man. It's not impossible, but it makes it nearly that. That's all I can say. When a player is limited in practice, what percentage of practice do they participate? Probably the individual drills is probably what they do. Individual stuff on the side. Maybe they throw to wide receivers running routes with nobody covering them, but I doubt they're doing any 7-on-7s or 11-on-11s. I don't think there's any team drills involved when they say limited. When they say limited, it's just something that you're doing on the side or you do the individual drills. That's it. You won't be in traffic with other people is probably the deal. Let's see what else. Watching Tua's game, especially against Arizona, was outstanding, though this offensive line will get better. And remember, this is a 3-year plan, and we are ahead of schedule. Let's see. Tua will look how to finesse his passes. He will learn how to lob the ball instead of always rifling it. Also, I like our receivers, but they are possession receivers. We need that speedster. They will add that. They will add that in the draft, my brother. They will add speed in the draft at the running back spot. They will add speed at the wide receiver spot. Remember, Albert Wilson screwed them too. Okay? Albert Wilson would have been the guy that could have extended the defense. That's the guy that could have gotten behind defenses at times. And they lost that element. And then another possession guy in Allen Hurns would have helped out a lot as a slot guy. So when you trade Isaiah Ford, it's a lot easier when you have Allen Hurns and you trade Isaiah Ford. Now you've got to develop these rookies that you hope can play the slot position, right away. They probably eventually will, but it's really hard to ask rookies to go in there and take over veteran spots and not miss a beat. That's a really difficult thing to do, man. It's a tough one. Let's see what else. Steelers ended up defeating the Ravens yesterday, 19-14. I saw the highlights. I didn't watch the game. I was actually working. By the time I got home, that thing was over. And so Baltimore, listen, it's a game we all got to be happy. Look, Pittsburgh's not going to go undefeated the whole season and win the championship. That's not going to happen, so don't worry about that. I'm not worried about the 17-0 crap, okay? I'm not concerned at all. I think our Dolphins will keep that locked and keep that perfection going. Pittsburgh will lose. The best part about yesterday was that Baltimore lost, and they're one of the teams battling Miami for a playoff spot, okay? Just like the Raiders losing this past week helped Miami, because by Miami winning, they jumped the Raiders. They got into the playoff slot, and the Raiders dropped out. So this is absolutely phenomenal that we got Baltimore to lose. And I don't wish it on anybody. I don't wish injury on any player. I don't care if they play for the Jets. Okay? I want the Jets to lose every game. I don't like wishing injuries on anybody. That's not who I am. You know what I mean? But yesterday, another reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers will not go undefeated now is their best linebacker got injured yesterday. So to me, when you lose Bud Dupree, who had 8 sacks for you, I think it puts you in a position where now that hurts that defense and that secondary, because now you have one less pass rusher that can get to the quarterback, which now forces that secondary to hang with their players just a little bit more. And that extra half a second might be just enough time for these receivers to get open and cause more problems for Pittsburgh. The Bud Dupree loss is devastating for Pittsburgh and for Dolphin fans all over the world. We don't want to see him injured, but we now know that Pittsburgh's been weakened, and that may actually set it up for them to lose a game. Remember, they play Buffalo in Buffalo. I think that's one of those games that they easily could lose. And here's the other thing about the Steelers this year. They're a good team. They're not a great team. I'm sorry. The only great team in the league right now is Kansas City. That's the only team that I see and I can label great. Outside of that, I don't see anybody on the NFC side that I would label great. And on the AFC side, it's just one. It's KC. So to me, that's why Any of you out there that are concerned about the 17-0 stuff and the perfect season, Pittsburgh's not going to match it, man. They're not going to go undefeated in the regular season and then run the table in the postseason. I guarantee you that. I am convinced that they will lose a game or two, maybe two. One in the regular season and one in the postseason as they get eliminated by Kansas City, and Kansas City moves on to go to the Super Bowl, which they probably should win, barring injury. Let's see, what else do we have here? Big O, what's your take on the Steelers? Oh, I just said that. And will they break the 72? Well, good, I just answered that for you. Big O, do you think we sign a right tackle, nose tackle, or middle linebacker and running back in free agency? We're set up in the draft. Jose, my man, you got to stop thinking like old Dolphins. The old Dolphins were dumbasses, and they used to buy their way thinking that that's what you do. These Dolphins know how to draft. Chris Greer and company are going to draft those kind of players. I don't think that they're going to go and sign a bunch of free agents. And if they do sign free agents, they usually will sign guys that are young, and which I think somebody told you over a year ago on this podcast that when they sign free agents, normally they're going to be young ones. They're not going to be signing guys that are 30 plus, right? So it's going to be an Ogba. It's going to be a guy that they're not going to they feel he fits the system, but they don't have to overpay. Notice. Now, with the corner, they did that because they knew that their front seven would immediately get better if you had a shutdown corner opposite of X. So it was a really smart move on their part because they go, okay, we leave these two guys on an island, we can play zero coverage a lot. And they're right. And because of that, you can play with the defense, you can disguise it, because you don't know who's rushing and who's dropping back. It's a beautiful thing. So you got to get that thinking out of your mind that they're going to go out and spend all kinds of money in free agency. If they spend in free agency, it's young. If they spend in free agency, more often than not, it won't be like the Jones deal. It'll be more like Emmanuel Ogbah. They're going to try to get a steal. They're going to try to get a guy that they are looking at and says, okay, he fits what we do. We can make him kind of like what the Heat do. It's kind of what they're doing. So this whole thing about going by right tackle, nose tackle, or middle linebacker, or running back, no, they're not going to do that. They may buy a guy or two, and it won't be a crazy number. Okay? That's what I believe will happen. Let's see. Big O, what are your thoughts on the Jets and Trevor Lawrence? I hate to see him in our division. Alexis, the Jets will ruin Trevor Lawrence's career. So it doesn't really matter. Whoever they get, they're going to ruin it. Steve D'Onofrio Jr. says, this defense is elite, willing only get better. Flores is smarter than everybody on that side of the ball. Him and Greer knew what to go after in the offseason. That is why we turned this thing around quickly. I agree. John Ritter says KC's strengths play well into Miami's D's strength. Am I crazy to think we have a shot next week? Yes, Josh. Put down the weed, bro. Okay? All right? They don't have a shot against Kansas City. No. Can't hang with them offensively. I know what you're saying. Miami's strength is their secondary, so Kansas City's strength is their passing, and Eric Rowe is really good against tight ends, so against Kelsey, so you're expecting Jones, X, and Eric Rowe to kind of shut those guys down and limit what they do. Man, that's too hard, bro. That's too hard. You're talking about three elite players. It's just really hard to shut those kind of people down. You know? Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, Pat Mahomes. We're talking about, it's just at another level. And I don't think Miami can hang with them. I get it. You're a overzealous fan, and you want your team to win. But let's just beat the Cincinnati Bengals. You got a winnable game against the Raiders. You got a winnable game against New England. And I think you can actually beat the Bills too. You got a shot at the Bills. A shot. Because that was a close game last time. But the Kansas City game, no. No. The key is winning 3 games right now in your last 5. I think if you get to 10, you definitely get into the playoffs. I really believe that. So they've got to beat Cincinnati this week and then win 2 of the games out of the Raiders, the Patriots, and the Bills, because they're not beating Kansas City. Kansas City lost the game they were going to lose. They're not going to get out of focus anymore and lose another game. And Miami, here's the other thing that hurts your theory on thinking that Miami has a shot. Because Kansas City already lost and got their wake-up call, I think they'll be reminded about that constantly. And Miami is whatever they're going to be at that point. They're going to have a winning record. They're going to have a really good record. So they will have Kansas City's attention at 8-4. Okay? So no, I don't think so that they have any shot whatsoever. GP says nobody can hang with them. I agree. Miami Miracle says, what's your prediction for the Chiefs versus Dolphins game? Ooh, probably like a 30-17 game, something like that. I think it's going to be. They're good, man. They're good. Got to give people credit when they deserve it. Let's see. Big O, I'm just talking about 2 or 3 young key signings need, and you set up your draft. Yeah, but Jose, those young kind of players don't become available in free agency. It's rare that those kind of players, young, become available. It's just not normal. So that's why I don't expect that to happen. X Factor, drop a sure pick first. Bills game, Fins can win 5. So NorCal's got them winning all 5. Okay. All right. It's amazing. Who would have thunk it? We need about 3 more wins for the playoffs. Wow. Awesome. Go Fins. Yeah. I think you get to 10. I think the Dolphins are in, and I think we're talking playoffs and having some fun with that. And that'll be fun. That'll be and listen, I know what's coming after that is, well, what if they lose, people will be pissed. I'm going to be happy either way. I'll be disappointed if they lose because I'm always disappointed that they lose. But realistically, the fact that they're in the playoffs in their second year, I would have never thought that. I would have told you you're high as hell to think that they could actually make it. Okay? No way. There's no freaking way that I would have ever thought that they were going to make the playoffs this year. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, that's the way you can reach out to us on the text line, of course. And let's see, what else do we have here? What else was I going to talk? Oh, we got to talk a little Heat too, as the Heat get ready for the season opener. They're going to open the season against the Magic on the 23rd. And I don't know why. I'd love to ask the NBA, why do they have this big stiffy about opening up every year and putting the Heat at the Magic? I would love to know what the reasoning is that the computer that decides the schedule every year seems to put us in Mickey Mouse's home to start the season. Okay, I thought Miami was the one that made the NBA Finals. Bill, didn't Miami make the NBA Finals? I think last time.
Was that last year we did that in the bubble?
Yes,
right?
yes.
Did Orlando even make the playoffs?
No.
Thank you.
No. So, well, no, wait a minute. I think they did make the playoffs, actually. I think Orlando
did. They make the 8th spot?
Yes. They did sneak into the playoffs in the bottom end. But Miami is the NBA Finals runner-up. So, for me, if you're the NBA and it's a season opener, reward the team that got to the NBA Finals with a home game instead. Plus, this is the 4th time in 5 years that Miami is playing in Orlando to open up the season. So why aren't they opening up here? And last year, the good thing is they went 3-1 against Orlando because in years prior, somehow or another, they would lose way too much to that team.
They're just a pain in the butt.
I know. But yeah, last year at least they were able to, get it done, which would have been awesome.
You know, it's one thing I just came to me. I have a few friends that have said, because they always have passes. When they retire, the first year of their retirement, they're going to spend every day in Disney World because it's so cool and wonderful, and it's how Disney World is. You've done it your whole life.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe some people in the Heat's front office like Disney World, man, and they want to start the season off in a wonderful place. Maybe that's the case.
I don't know what it is, man. It just, to me, I really don't get it. But it sucks. I just think it's not fair to the Heat. Now, it's not, in the end, it's not this big deal, but I just kind of find it weird that the team that was a runner-up, it was one of the great stories in the bubble. How do you not give them the home game to start off the season? And how do you make them go to Orlando for the 4th time in 5 years when they're the better franchise? They're more of the, the elite franchises in the league. I mean, that's not even up for debate.
Maybe the NBA is trying to force that rivalry thing, because there was a bit of a rivalry, but like you said, to be a rivalry, you have to be kind of even, and we have been light years.
I know. Well, as a franchise.
Granted, you know what I'm saying.
But head-to-head, they actually.
They give us, dude, they're a thorn in our side. They're as much a thorn in our side as Indiana is.
Yeah. Yeah, big time. Big time. But I thought it was weird. And the good thing is they will play on Christmas Day. They're going to play against Zion and the Pelicans at noon on the 25th. So they get a little Christmas Day love. I like that, actually, that, they like to put probably the sexier games that they can on Christmas Day because that's their day. They own that thing all day and into the night. I like that they put our team there. At least they gave us some love there. It would have been nice if they would have added it with the season opener, but I'll take it.
When you're associated with Christmas, you're one of the marquee organizations, teams in the NBA.
Yep, no doubt about that. No fans, by the way. And, of course, we had 2,833 people die yesterday from COVID. That's why we got no fans. 203,737 cases yesterday. That's why we have no fans. I just hope this whole vaccine, and I hope people will be a little bit more responsible and wear masks, and maybe we can actually get back to normal again, man. It would be nice. My lock of the week is the Lions plus 3.5 at the Bears. NorCal, I did a show yesterday it's called something Picks. I forgot the name of it with my girl Rachel. She's really cool. I forgot the damn name of the thing, but it's called something Picks. I have it on my Twitter feed, and let me see if I can find it. But in that show, we had to give our picks, and my underdog pick of the week was the Detroit Lions against the Bears. Yeah. Why? Well, because they're getting 3 or 3.5. And the Lions just fired Patricia. So normally teams, they kind of like right away when you fire the coach, you kind of get in a good mood and you celebrate and you have a good win. And even if they lose against the Bears, I think they'll be within those points. But I actually think Detroit's going to beat the Bears this weekend. Plus, the Bears have no QB. So I just think that the Lions are set up perfectly to enjoy the absence of Matt Patricia and get a big victory.
Remember the first game of the season, first week.
It's called Picks-Wise.
Okay.
There you go, Picks-Wise.
First game of the season. The Bears had to come back on them, and the guy, Swift, dropped a ball, dropped right in his stomach. You remember?
Yes.
In the end zone. We had no business winning that game, okay? And, yeah, the Bears will find a way.
Well, I think
we'll find a way to lose.
I love the Lions this weekend. Definitely. That's one of those that I think they're going to – and that it just happens so many times when they fire a coach. It's like a rejuvenation for the team. And Matt Patricia was not liked.
Not at all.
Okay?
New blood, you're right.
Yeah, that guy was hated by players because apparently he is a horse's ass.
What was there, 4 or 5 ex-players you saw that all –
Yeah.
It's about time. What the hell were you waiting for?
Yeah. This guy, you could tell it was such a bad look for the Lions, dude, because Caldwell actually did like a really good job. When your coach gives you 3 out of 4 winning seasons and you make the playoffs twice, in Detroit, you keep them, dude. Okay? In Detroit, you keep them. I think we've said this 1,000 times. Those of us that are old enough, the fact that the Wayne Fontes years are like the highlight of Detroit, that's nuts. Okay? That's crazy. Those are the high times for the Lions fans. Before and after. Nothing better than the Wayne Fontes years. Is Wayne Fontes still with us?
No. I think
he passed away.
Sure Wayne Fontes passed. Yeah.
Really? I don't remember anybody saying that.
Great guy. Everybody loved him.
Yeah.
And a really, like you said, a really good coach.
Wayne Fontes. Let's see. Wayne Fontes. I think Wayne Fontes is still alive. You killed him. You freaking killed Wayne Fontes, bro.
I did?
Yeah, you've killed him.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah, you've killed him. He's born in 1940. Does not say that he died. He's still alive.
Okay. Whenever that happens, do you remember Abe Vigoda?
You killed the man.
Remember Abe Vigoda?
Yes, of course I do.
And he did the thing on People magazine. Hey, man, I'm still here. I'm not dead. They did a whole article on it. I feel horrible. Sorry, Wayne.
The Wayne Fontes years, 12-4 in 91, first in the NFC Central, lost to the Redskins in the NFC Championship game. Then they went 5-11. Then they came back in 10-6, first in the NFC Central, lost to Green Bay in the wild card game. 9-7, third in the NFC Central, lost to the Packers in the NFC wild card game. 95, 10-6, second in the NFC Central, lost to the Eagles in the NFC wildcard game. It's the dude had 4 winning seasons out of, let's see.
Look, I'm not the only one. There's a website, and you actually go ask the question. It says, is Wayne Fontes alive or dead? And, it has this big, you got to scroll down, and it says, alive.
Yeah, he's alive.
Okay. So I'm not the only one. I feel horrible.
Usually the dead date comes right after the born date.
Yeah.
And there was no dead date except for you. You killed Wayne Fontes. You killed Wayne Fontes,
I'm
bro.
sorry, man.
You're just a mean person.
Dude, you're giving me a complex over here,
but
bro.
I got to tell you something. Wayne Fontes has got to sit back and laugh at all of this. They thought I sucked.
Right.
That's kind of what he sits back and goes, they thought I sucked? What about this guy? You know what I mean? That's amazing. And those teams actually, they had some moments, with Herman Moore and Johnny Morton and Perriman and Scott Mitchell and Barry Sanders, obviously. Those teams, what was it? Robert Porcher was one of the defensive ends. Let's see. What jersey is Bill wearing today as he kills people? Today he's wearing a concert shirt, no jersey. Today he's got a candle box shirt.
Candle box with the Nirvana scarf.
He's got a candle box, and he put Wayne Fontes in a box. Okay? Big O, what did you think of RG3 last night? Is it completely shot, and he's only 30. Brother, once Haloti Ngata broke RG3 in half, he was never the same player again. Once he lost his knee and he lost his mobility, it was over. Okay? That's right. Scott Mitchell was at the helm. Yes, sir. He's 80 years old. Come on, Bill. Wake up. Bring back Eric Hipple. There you go.
That would be cool so that Wilbur Marshall could just basically knock him cold.
Love it. Love it. LeBron, by the way, signed a 2-year, $85 million deal with the Lakers, an extension. And the interesting part about that extension, it runs through 2023. Bronny James is supposed to be NBA eligible at that time. And so he'll be in the draft. And now the speculation is that LeBron left it open so he can go sign with the team that drafts Bronny, so he can play with his son for a year and then retire. And you think about it, they're the favorites to win this year. I mean, there's no reason the Lakers shouldn't win this year. They got better. They weakened the Clippers in the process. I like their team better this year than this past season. So they're already the favorites. So let's say he wins 2 in a row there, and he doesn't win the next one. Or if he does, and you can walk away from the Lakers with no problem. You did your job. You brought a couple titles there. Nobody can complain. And nobody's going to complain if you want to go play with your son. Think about that. I mean, you got to be, pretty cruel.
The first one that comes to mind, obviously, was the Griffeys.
Yes, that's
Ken and Junior.
That's the only thing I remember.
Seattle, right?
I don't remember anything else. Those are the only father-son combinations that I ever remember playing in any sport whatsoever. I don't think I remember in hockey, baseball, basketball, or football outside of the Griffeys with a father and son combination.
Didn't Gordie Howe, because he played up until his 50s.
Yeah, he played like eight decades, yes.
I want to say that he did. I want to say he played with his son.
I have no idea.
I do.
I have no idea. None whatsoever. Maybe they played in the minors together. I don't know. I don't remember that. You would have to look that up and confirm that. But I don't remember any other father and son combination playing because it's so hard to have a father and son, stay, especially the father. He's got to hang around long enough for the kid to play. I don't remember that. But that's the word, that he is kind of leaving himself open for that opportunity to go play with Bronny, which actually would be very interesting if it does happen. I mean, for any father, that would be an honor to be able to do that with your son, whether you like LeBron or you don't. Okay, I'm just talking about pure father and son connection. I think that's pretty cool.
That was the thing I was going to say. LeBron, we've talked about it. He kind of runs roughshod over an organization and becomes their general manager, and he's kind of going to get to do what he wants, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of almost, you would say, inevitable that this is, if he wants it to happen, it's going to happen.
Well, he's done a really good job of controlling his career. For considering it's a league that controls you most of the time, he's done a really good job that once he got into the, out of his rookie contract, he controlled what he was doing with the Cavs and then left to come to Miami and controlled that and then left to go back to Cleveland and then went to the Lakers. So he's
calling all the shots.
He's been really smart of how he has managed all of that. You know what's another interesting basketball story outside of this LeBron one is Jimmy Butler. Just think about the rise of Jimmy Butler here, okay? Jimmy Butler was the guy that was a problem in Chicago. He was a problem in Minnesota. And then he goes to Philadelphia, and they play well, but then they didn't really do what they were supposed to do in the playoffs, obviously, because Toronto hit that shot, and the rest is history, and they went on. And so they were right there on the cusp. And when Philadelphia had to pay people and keep people, they chose Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. And Embiid wanted Butler badly. So, again, the perception was, wow, people don't stay with Butler. So then Miami signs Butler. And I got to tell you, as myself, where I was wrong is, Jimmy keeps having trouble. Will he ever be able to find a partner to come play with him here? And I remember my boy George Sedano, I remember putting that out on Twitter, and Sedano goes to me, I'm telling you, I've talked to people. There are players that will play with Jimmy. He's more liked than what people say. And so I got to give Sedano a lot of credit on that one because I didn't really think or I was worried or concerned that that was a problem for him and that for them to get another player to come here is going to be tough. And so far that hasn't been able to happen because they don't have the cap space, not because they tried and they failed, okay? So now he comes here and he has an incredible season where he bonds with all these players. He bonds perfectly with the Miami Heat. He starts to change the reputation because Philadelphia chokes, Minnesota does nothing, Chicago's the same. So everybody else sees, well, wait a minute, all those places are still problems, and yet nobody's having trouble with Jimmy in Miami. Jimmy's having a good time. Miami is coasting. They're kicking ass. And then comes the bubble. And then comes the playoffs. And the guy in the bubble in the playoffs was a star. He came up with superstar moments. He had the big head coffee thing that he had it going on with everybody. And before you know it, the guy changed his entire image. And now, anybody that questioned Jimmy Butler and said, I don't know about this guy, well, you can't do that anymore. Okay? This offseason, Li Ning becomes his shoe. You know who they sponsor? Wade. So Wade and him are like this. So Wade obviously helped Jimmy, and Li Ning saw what Jimmy did in the finals and everything else. So now that's a name we can gravitate to because our guy's not active. He's retired. So now you get Jimmy Butler. So the reconstruction of that image continues to climb. Now, do you know what's the latest with Jimmy Butler? You guys know what the latest with Jimmy Butler is now?
Yes, I was going to mention it. I saw it yesterday.
He is dating Selena Gomez. Okay? So now, and that's not a person that you would think that these two have something in common. You know what I'm saying? But that's kind of what brings couples together. Sometimes opposites do attract, right? It's kind of that's the cliche. And I don't know if they're talking country music or they're talking wine or they're talking basketball, some of the things, or they're talking big head coffee. I have no idea what they're talking about. But it's kind of interesting how Jimmy's image completely changed on everything and every level, and his reputation and everything is now impeccable, right? And this organization, the Miami Heat, is an impeccable organization. So a lot of people view it that if you come here and you can't actually get it done here, it's because you're the problem, because this organization will give you everything you need to succeed. Okay? This is pretty cool to watch this incredible transformation, the change in everything with Jimmy Butler, and he ends up with Selena Gomez. It's pretty interesting stuff, man. I got to say. So, good job by Jimmy Butler. Moving on, dude.
It doesn't. He's not a soap opera.
No.
The limelight.
No, he's just a blue collar.
Yeah.
Blue collar, good dude. No BS, which that's actually my favorite part about him because that's who I am. Like, he'll tell you what it is and how it is and what he's thinking, and that way you know where somebody's coming from. I've always lived my life that way. I'd rather be just brutally honest, and that way people know, good or bad, it is what it is. So
I was a little surprised. I have to say.
Of what?
That connection.
Yeah.
Because of how Jimmy is,
Yeah, I mean, she was going out with Justin Bieber.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Give me a break. Going out with Biebs.
And reading the story, they've only been out on a few dates.
Yeah,
It's not only like they've been 3 dates, I think, is what they said.
Yeah, it's only been a couple dates. So who knows if it's
good
something.
for him, man. She's a cutie.
It certainly doesn't look like this is something that is just like they're friends. I think this is something, obviously, that there's some interest in each other and all of that. And I give him props, man, because Selena is a cutie, man. Give it to him. Nice job by him. Let's see. Jimmy Butler is winning all around, dating Selena. Damn right. She goes from Justin Bieber to Jimmy Butler. She passed by the weekend, and she connects with JB. Dennis Akers says, double down with Big O today. Sweet. Both shows are killer. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Wasn't there a rapper guy in between? I thought I saw that there was a rapper guy.
Well, they said
one name rapper guy.
Rosendo said Weekend, that she went out with the Weekend also. I didn't know.
Ah, that's it. Thank you.
I didn't know she went out with the Weekend. Was that before or after he cut his hair? Because congratulations, Weekend. That haircut was just the worst out there, dude. Okay, that was just a terrible haircut. Thank God you got rid of that thing that was just like hanging out like this. That was a brutal haircut, dude. Cam Newton's the other one. Bro, cut your hair. That thing that's going out like this, that you look like a joker. Seriously, all we have to do is put balls at the end of each of them, and then we can put you next to the king, and you can just be the joker of the royal family. Wow. There's some bad haircuts out there, man. Some really bad haircuts. Jimmy better watch out. Latinas are crazy. Why you got to say that, bro? I'm married to a Latina. They're not all crazy. Okay? Latinas. They're hot-blooded is what they are. Check it and see. They got a fever of 103. What movie? Teeth? Okay.
John has turned us on to, I don't know if we can venture to there. Let me just pass.
Is it a pornographic movie, Teeth?
Dude, look, you just have to, I don't know if you want to read that. Just keep it to yourself, maybe?
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. What?
Underneath Wade. Look at what he wrote.
Vagina dentata? What does that mean?
Denta.
Oh, densa?
Supposedly it's a myth about there being teeth located in that area.
In the vagina area? Well, it's a condition, so people actually are born with teeth in their vagina? Wow. That's crazy. Damn.
I didn't know if you wanted to go there.
You better check under the hood before you work with the engine. I'm just saying, from now on, you better go down there and check the hood. Okay? Because under the hood there might be, some, vaginas with teeth.
Can you imagine if it was like a shark?
I don't even want to
have
imagine
like 4 or 5 rows of teeth inside there?
I don't even want to imagine that. I don't want to imagine that those things, they can't be human if they're growing teeth.
There is a movie called Teeth.
Yeah.
That gets involved with this vagina.
So a movie called Teeth, and it's women with vaginas with teeth.
It's Ventata?
Okay.
I Americanized it.
Okay.
Denta.
That is gross at every level. Thank you, John, for that disgusting picture. Because all I am thinking now in my mind.
John doesn't bring brownies, but he brings vagina.
In my mind, I'm just thinking, wow, that is some dangerous stuff. I mean, think about it. If you don't know she has teeth, right, and then she gets mad at you, I mean, she cuts it off by clamping down on the hips.
Oof.
It's over. I mean, give me a break. That's nuts. What about if you get a cavity? How do you do that?
She doesn't have one tooth in her head, but she's got it downstairs.
I don't know. Does it cut into your underwears? You know what I mean? Does it create holes in your underwears? Just wondering. Now here's
We've talked about girls wearing underwear in the
Now here's a real question.
Eating.
If there's such thing as women that have teeth in that area, so if one falls off, does the tooth fairy come for it? I'm just wondering. These are things. These are things that inquiring minds want to know. Cavities.
Will we call it the cherry fairy?
Yeah. Do you sit there and polish it, or them?
It's the cherry
it's just
fairy.
Weird.
It comes against those.
And let me
teeth.
ask you something. Toothpaste in that area, isn't that something that's going to sting a little bit?
I would say yes.
I mean, you're certainly not doing scope down there.
Can you imagine Listerine?
Can you gargle?
Listerine, bro.
So are you like upside down? And then Go back down and spit it out? I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to figure this thing out here. There's a lot of things that I'm talking about here. Are there retainers to straighten them out?
What is she doing? She's in the bathroom, standing on her head.
Invisalign.
She's just gargling.
Invisaligns. She can gargle double while she's in the shower. Sits down, she gargles twice. Oh man, it's like a multi-fountain. I mean, I'm just thinking there's just a lot of things that can happen with that situation.
Definitely not running PG-13 today.
Yeah, no. I mean, think about this. You go visit the dentist, right? And so the guy walks out and goes, hey, I'll be back in a minute. You just get prepared. No problem. And he doesn't know. So the guy walks back into the dentist office, and her legs are spread, and it's just, whoa. And he didn't know that those are the teeth he was checking out. I'm just saying, there'd be some doctors that would be pretty, I mean, you got to worry about bad breath when you go to the dentist. She's got to worry about bad breath, and, so this hygiene's very important in all areas.
What the hell am I naming this subject? John Rouse is in the house, doesn't bring brownies, but very interesting concept.
I'm just wondering. I mean, that's just, that is weird, John. That is weird. I don't want to see your favorites in your programming if you're not out there. I got to tell you, man. I got to tell you. That is just some messed up stuff there. Wow. Okay. What's the reaction here? What do we have here? I am married to a Latina. Trust me, I get chewed out daily. Jaws theme song. Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah. You're not really playing like Barry White or anything with her. You play Jaws as the, theme song, to get her in the mood.
Dun.
All right, man. You be good, Johnny. Thank you.
Later, John.
John Rouse in the house. He says Little Shops of Horror. Nara Rosendo says, time to practice the alphabet. There we go. I'd rather talk politics. That's what kind of toothpaste for the coach. This conversation really took a turn. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, this conversation was really odd.
You see why I handed you the paper that he wrote, that, I'm not going to be the one that takes us there, okay?
No. Now, some of you out there, and this is a great segue to go into Tua, teeth and Tua. Anyway, some of you out there are complaining a little too much about Tua. Some of you are concerned about Tua a little too much. And you need to kind of chill out on all of this. You got to give the kid some time. We've talked about it. Several quarterbacks have taken forever to get it going and figure things out. And this kid's only played a couple of games. I know that by next year is when we'll see the guy that we all want, that he'll have the knowledge and the experience and the comfort and all that stuff. But Tyreek Hill was pretty funny. He was on with the guys from NFL Today, and they were asking him about Pat Mahomes during his rookie year, okay? Remember, Pat did not play the entire year. He played game 16, so week 17. He played one game his rookie year, and then the following year they gave him the reins, right? And so they asked Tyreek Hill about Pat Mahomes in his first year. Listen to what an NFL player is saying to describe his quarterback, not a media guy, not fans, but an NFL player. Go ahead.
I thought it was trash. I ain't gonna cap. I ain't even gonna cap, man. When he first got there, I was like, "That who y'all drafted right here? That who y'all drafted? Hey, but look, he proved me into a whole complete. I don't know. It's just that second year, his quarterback mechanics were different. It was like he was spending more time with his quarterback coach, spending more time with Coach Reed, learning the offense. It was dude, it's different.
Big Cheetah, you got to tell Phil what no cap means and cap mean. He's old, man. He don't know what that means. Explain to him what cap and no cap means.
Hey, Phil, look, I ain't got time to explain to you what all that
means.
That's okay.
Man.
Hey,
I got it.
All our terminology means.
Don't worry, I got it.
That's funny. That's funny. Teach the old white guy the slang terms. But there's Tyreek Hill calling his quarterback garbage his rookie year. This is why we've got to be patient, man. And we've got to give this young man some time to really grow into the position. It's not going to happen overnight. I've seen many players not look good in their first and second years. And sometimes it takes their second or third year to kind of figure it out. Drew Brees, it took him 4 years. His first 3 years, nothing. It's just the way it is. Not everybody figures it out like right away. Sometimes it takes them a little while. Well, most of them, it takes them a little while to actually get going. That's why that's a great example of why we tell you don't overreact on Tua on a per-game basis, good or bad. I don't think you should. I'm telling you. Let's be patient here with Tua. Let's give him some time. He'll be all right, and you'll be fine. But don't overreact every single week on what's going on with Tua. Wait till, look at Jakeem Grant. Look at Mike Gesicki. These are guys that struggled early on, and then they figured it out. Every position's like that. Lineman, I've told you many times, I'm dying to see Michael Dieter. I want to see him get another opportunity because I don't believe I should give up on the kid after 1 year.
Are you surprised that we really haven't seen Dieter?
No. Because the other guys
considering
are
how versatile, I mean, the guy played guard, tackle, like it was he just wanted to play, man.
Yeah, well, he's now center.
You know?
So I think they're trying to groom him at that spot, and they probably want him to learn that position because next year there's a good chance he's probably competing for that spot next year. So I wouldn't be surprised if they draft a center and then they bring back Karras and they have all of them competing at that spot. And somebody's going to get cut. It'll be Karras. It'll be Dieter, because I doubt they'll cut the rookie. They'll probably give the rookie another year or two because that's normally what they do. But don't be surprised if
Plus
that's
the
the case.
versatility, like we've talked about, the
Yes.
fact that he plays multiple.
Yeah.
You know what? Exactly what you're talking about, O. I kind of think that maybe that's why we haven't seen Dieter, because it's like they're ISOing him on the center spot and nothing else. Learn this job.
Yep. No, I'm with you. 49ers, by the way, are moving their operations to Arizona till December 21st. Now that California and Santa Clara, the county of Santa Clara, where their team is at, they said, hey, no games of contact, no events of contact can take place. So football cannot be played in that county. So they've got to move now, and they're moving to Arizona. I mean, that's now in this world, think about this. It's only 3 weeks. So it's not the end of the world that you're moving out for a long period of time. But now you are going to upend your team, and you've got to go over to Arizona, and you're also going to be away from your family because that's probably what's going to happen. I doubt they'll bring maybe, some of the guys that are on the high end. They might be able to rent a hotel out there for a couple weeks and put, their loved one there so they can hang out with them on their off days, off moments, all that kind of stuff. Maybe that's the case. But now, luckily for San Francisco, this is not a playoff year for them. But you think about it. If this was a playoff year and you have to deal with this, that would have been a hell of a hurdle to add to the issues that you have already with the team. That would really, really suck. But I saw that note, and I kind of feel bad for them. But, man, 2020 has done so much to all of us.
They've been talking about this for a few days, so they kind of knew that this was inevitable. It was going to happen for them.
Steve says, I believe most fans are uneasy because the guy selected directly behind Tua is balling. Easy to feel now we picked the wrong guy, especially because most people think like a microwave. Yeah, but I still, Herbert puts up numbers, but he doesn't win games. I still have a problem with that. To me, Steve, when people say that, they're just looking at the stats and the highlights. They're actually not looking at the games. When the game's on the line and when they need big-time drives, he doesn't come up with them. And look, I know that the Chargers aren't the best team right now. They're not playing well. Anthony Lynn's made a lot of questionable decisions with the clock management, which he's being criticized for immensely. But I still don't see Justin Herbert winning. I've seen the guys that put up stats, and they don't win. That doesn't make you a great quarterback. Okay, Jeff George put up a ton of stats, never won, never really was getting it done. So I've seen this story before, and I got to see Justin. Remember the moments that we said we were waiting for in Oregon? I'm still waiting for those moments in the NFL.
Not to say that the kid hasn't looked good.
No, he's looked good.
And he looks totally different. It's been an indictment on
win.
Cristobal. But you know what? Here, you remember Dan Faust had receivers, had numbers. In history, would you rather have a Faust guy or a Bob Greasy or an Aikman?
Right.
Okay?
Right. Exactly.
Pedestrian stats. But dude just did one thing. Won rings.
Right.
Faust never even sniff. He got to sniff an AFC championship, I think, once, right?
Yes.
That's it.
Yep. Yeah, Fouts was a guy that
give me the guys that get rings, man.
Yeah, you got to win, man. You got to win. And that's my problem. If you watch Herbert in the key moments where they need drives, that team doesn't come up with him. So he doesn't rise up, and he's a rookie. So again, I'm not even going to give up on the kid or anything like that, but I still need to see those kind of moments before I start thinking, "Oh my God, we got the wrong guy." No, they have a better receiving core than Miami does. You guys know that, right? I mean, a way better receiving core. Way better.
And they're healthy, man. Our receivers aren't even healthy.
No. So they're way better in that area, which helps him a lot. They got a veteran offensive line, which helps them over our guys. Austin Eckler is better than all the guys we have too, and he's not anything special, but he's a tough little guy that's productive. He's been a better player than all the running backs we have. Now, I'm not ready about that. I'm not ready with that. Fouts is as guilty as Marino then. Okay. I see what you're saying. Marino never had a defense, never had a running game. That's the difference there, too. You have no running game, you have no defense. You know, San Diego in those days, they didn't have a great defense either, but they had a running game and they had an offense. Okay, so it was Marino in the passing game, no running game. Fouts had a running game at least. Chuck Muncie was better than anything Miami ever had during the Marino era. So I would say that they had something of a running game. And Muncie was man. He was that was a monster when he was going.
Those I remember him with the glasses, man.
Yeah. The goggles.
And yeah, they had a massive weapon. And who was the backup for him?
For who? For Muncie?
Yeah. They went too deep there, and they had Jefferson and Joyner and Kellen Winslow Sr. I mean, dude, they had massive weapons all around that guy.
Yep.
You know what? And the offensive line was pretty nasty, too.
They had the guy that played for Cincinnati, and he played there. I'm pretty sure that's how it went. And he's a dynamic player. Anthony Perez gives us a little love on the Super Chat. Oh, it's early. Let's enjoy the season and may have answered already, but top draft needs, pass rusher, nose guard, receiver, guard, running back, free safety too, I think, is another one that they'll add there. But yeah, all of those are needs. Yes, I would not be surprised if they draft some of those kind of players in this draft. Yes, I would agree with you on all of those, Anthony. And thank you for the love on the Super Chat. All right, we're going to wrap it up here at Toyota of Hollywood. Come on out, man. See Steve Ostrov, Herbie Lopez, all the great people out here. Trust me, they will take care of you. They're just amazing people. They've got some great deals going on right now. So come on out and check them out. And they, trust me, they will take care of you. Tell them that Big O sent you. Guys like Asric Smith and Joel Rubio and Lori Rodriguez. I just saw Lori right now. She just came by right now. Gary Thompson, just some great people out there. And, of course, we thank Steve Ostroff and Herbie Lopez. Fantastic, as always, taking care of us. We will see you next Thursday right here, same place, same time, same place, same bat channel.
Tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Craig's Inn.
Yes, we'll be at Craig's Inn in the afternoon. So come on by and join us out there at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines, the sister dealership of Toyota of Hollywood. Great place also, as always. Larry Schlossberg and the great people out there.
Figured out the name for the segment.
What's that?
John Rouse didn't bring brownies, but he brought a Snagglepuss story.
No, I got a better one for you.
Oh.
Yeah, that one's a little too long. But Rouse, thank you for the disgusting story. We appreciate it. It did entertain a little bit, and I think we're all going to be searching for that show later on. It's probably what's going to happen. Even if you won't admit it, you'll search for it. Okay? And by the way, John, what channel is that on? What network is that? What network is that?
The movie, I think he said, was Teeth, right?
Right.
Teeth.
So what network has that? Is what I want to know.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
All right, y'all. Be good. Much love out there. Thank you all.
Stay safe.
And thank you, Anthony, for the super chat.
Yes, sir. We'll see y'all tomorrow.